Okay, so now we're being asked to solve these algebraically. Now, when we're asked to solve these algebraically, um, honestly, if you have a calculator, you can get a pretty good estimate, or you can get a pretty good idea, guess, and testing. And when we're going through and we're working through these, there will be a bit of logic depending on the question that we're going to be looking at. The first two we're going to have to solve with sort of a more logical approach, whereas the last one is going to be solely an algebraic approach. But let's dive into this. So the first one that we have is NP3 equals 60. So NP3, if we go back in time, we remember that NPR equals n factorial all over n minus r factorial. So this is going to be n factorial all over n minus 3 factorial. And we know that this will equal 60. Okay. So from here, n factorial, we want to get the cancellation. So it's going to become n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3 factorial, all over n minus 3 factorial equals 60. And then I get my cancellations, which will be n minus 1, n minus 2, and then this will equal 60. Now at this point, you'll realize that this is basically a 3-degree equation. And for algebraically, you guys are never going to be expected to solve a 3-degree equation on this. So at this point, it's either going to come down to calculator or logic. And for calculator, you could pop that in to y1, you could pop that in to y2, and you could solve it that way, or you could look at this logically and see we have 3 descending numbers that equal 60. Well, 3 times 2 times 1 is 6, 4 times 3 times 2 is 24, 5 times 4 times 3 equals 60. Okay, now for my 6PR equals 30. Well, this is going to give me 6 factorial all over 6 minus r factorial, and that will equal 30. From here, well, I switch the denominator with that, and I get 6 factorial all over 30 equals 6 minus r factorial. Or I get 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 all over 30 equals 6 minus r factorial. And from here, we notice that 6 times 5 equals 30. So this would give me 4 factorial equals 6 minus r factorial, or by logic there, r would have to equal